So I finally got an upgrade to my setup. Let's have a look. So before I was using this hunk of junk. Absolute piece of shit. Not actually, it's not that bad, but you know, it did what its purpose was for. But it's a Dell Latitude E5570. It is not the best. It could do the editing software pretty well, but when it came to gaming, this thing was completely lacking since it only had integrated graphics, not a graphics card. And it came out in like 2016, so that's to be expected, but it did its job, and this is what I was making all my videos on before. Now this is the upgraded setup. Now, excuse the mess. I know it's a bit of mess at my desk. I was up late last night getting it all set up, getting it all ready, but this is the PC right here. It is a wonderful piece of shit. It's a Zoostorm case. Now, Zoostorm is an amazing UK brand. It makes some lovely PC cases, but this one's a really old one. This is like a workstation you would have found in an office, maybe back in like 2010, 2012, that sort of time, early 2010s. So it is not the best, but let me crack open the insides for you. So let's have a look at the internals. We'll go from bottom to top. So on the bottom here, we have a Radeon 7800. It's a Radeon HD 7800. Decent graphics card, very, very budget. This entire build is very budget. So I looked up the price, and this was about 20 bucks if you get it secondhand. Now, I was given most of the parts for this PC by one of my lovely neighbors. His son used to work at a tech store, and he built this PC when the tech store closed down, and they had a bunch of leftover parts that they didn't want. So he gave them away to me so that I could use them. The RAM is 2 sticks of DDR3 4GB RAM. It will get the job done. 8GB of DDR3, not optimal by any means, but the motherboard, and don't worry, I'll show you, the specs will be in the description with so you can have a look at it yourself and you can decide whether you ever want to use this sort of crap. But the motherboard cannot support DDR4. It's so old that it can only support DDR3, so this is what I've got going for right now. I may upgrade it to 16GB since that's the most that the motherboard can handle, and I think it would improve the responsiveness quite a bit of the PC, because that's the only downside I'm having right now with this. Opening Google and applications can sometimes take a while, and by a while I mean like 20-30 seconds. It isn't that bad, but it's not what I want. I want it to be fast, snappy, you know, like a modern computer would be. As for the processor, obviously you can't see it because the cooler's on it, and I don't want to dismantle it because I'm worried I'll break it. So it's a i5-3470. Now, it's a very good CPU for a budget. It can run most games, and obviously I'll show you some benchmarks and some comparisons to the laptop afterwards, but for what I need, it gets the job done perfectly. Obviously, I'm going to upgrade this, and actually in saying that, I have a Patreon. The link will be in the description. It's also on my on my account, so if you just go to my homepage on my channel, you will see a Patreon link under my username, and you can send me some money because I really love making tech, and I really love doing tech videos, and I've always wanted to do it. It's one of my passions, and I would love to combine them, you know, and make some seriously good tech content. But for that, I need money, and I don't have the extra income right now to be buying crazy PC parts or even mid-range PC parts. But let's not talk about that. Let's move on to the power supply. It's a Novatech 750 watt power supply. More than enough. This entire PC only uses, I'd say, like 200 watts. That is majorly overkill, but obviously I got it for free, so I'm going to use it, and it means that once I do upgrade my PC, I may be able to use it and save myself some cash, since obviously I'm not going to build some crazy fucking thing. And then if we have a quick peer inside, that is the SSD. It's only 64GB. It's a Radeon 64GB SSD, mainly just to hold the operating system, since I use a Sonic's 1TB hard drive to store all of my data. And let's go to the peripherals real quick. For this mouse, I don't remember the brand. I do have the box around, so I will leave obviously the name of it in the description, and I will put it up on screen now. But it's a very good lightweight mouse. You can change the DPI of the mouse here, so how fast, you know, it moves on the screen. It has obviously standard buttons, and then it also has some side buttons here, which has can be programmed, I believe, to do whatever you want. And it's also RGB. It goes through different colors, like different shades of red and pink and purple. And as for the keyboard, I only have just a standard Dell keyboard. I don't remember the exact model, obviously, name will be on screen. And it gets the job done. The only issue is I have quite small hands, all things considered. So with this being quite a large keyboard for what I'm used to, since I'm used to a laptop, I occasionally hit the wrong key while trying to do stuff. And as for the monitor, I'm just using my old Samsung TV, which was used mainly for the consoles. And I'm just repurposing it since I could save myself some money instead of spending $50 on a new monitor. So that's pretty much my entire setup and what I've got going. And it runs pretty well. Obviously, after this, I'm gonna put a segment on the benchmarks. And I actually, no, you know what? I'm not gonna talk anymore. Let's move straight on to benchmark. So the first game we are gonna compare will be Terraria. So on the Dell, the laptop, it ran at about 47 frames max and a low of around 20. While recording, playing on low graphics. Now, fortunately enough, bear in mind this was modded, this game ran flawlessly on the laptop, but modded on the PC runs at 60 frames per second consistently, no matter what the graphic settings are, what mods I'm using, what's like the recording, whether I'm not recording. While I'm recording, there is occasional frame drops on the benchmark, but overall, playing on high graphics while recording and using Fourier. So the next game I'll be discussing is Gary's mod. Now on the laptop, the Gary's mod would only run at around 40 frames high and then low, and more consistently around 20 to 15 frames. When looking at the bigger builds, the players build as well, it would drop to basically unplayable. So I would have to avoid basing with the players. But I am proud to admit that now the PC can happily run the entire game at over 100 frames per second. I saw it reach 200 at one point, but whenever looking at bases it drops around to 70 with the occasional stutter, but overall massive improvement compared to the laptop. The next game I'm going to talk about is Teardown. Now Teardown is a game that I absolutely love playing, but unfortunately due to the fact that my laptop was so bad, it would only run at, I'll say, consistent 15 frames. That's when I'm not even doing it on the lowest graphics. If I did anything really that was an explosion or any sort of building damage, then the entire computer would shut down and crash occasionally. It crashed on me a couple of times. But now, I'm glad to say once again, this game can run consistently at 30 frames, high at 60. And even when there's a lot of stuff going on, it still runs pretty well. The only time it really suffers is some of the black hole basically sucks on everything. That really suffers when I use multiple asteroids. And for the final game I'll be talking about is People Playground, another game that I love to play but struggle to. So on the laptop, this game ran like that, consistently at like 20 frames and just doing nothing. And if I did anything that had any sort of effects, like an explosion or anything, then the entire game would just shit bricks and just give up. So I am proud to admit that even when spawning in modded stuff like these mutants which would crash my game all the time previously, and slow down to a crawl, I can now run the game comfortably while doing mutant mods and nuclear explosions at the same time. It's great. So this is all I've got for you today. Please like and subscribe. I thank you so much for coming and watching this video. If you watched it to this point, I appreciate you to the fullest of my heart's extent. And remember, I do have the Patreon up, like I said earlier, so if you do want to go and support me so I can make better content, buy better gear, upgrade PCs, and to do a whole bunch of tech-based content like this in the future alongside of my gaming content, I would appreciate it to the fullest. But yes, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.